Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Spirit Hunters Infinite Horde. Today we are going back to Vivian, checking out some things. We are actually doing a little bit of a challenge run, a little bit of a fun run. We are going for Tornado as our starting weapon, and we are not going to be using any cooldown upgrades. Now, all weapons will be on the table, so we can use anything, but because I'm not going to be upgrading cooldown, I am going to go with some of, the ones that I think will make this run a little bit just easier overall. One thing to note is that I will be using cleave in this, but again, cleave without cooldown. It's going to be definitely very interesting. So we are going to be using cleave. I think it's even without having the cooldown, it really does not matter at all. I'm going to be going with vines for safety. Vines, I think, are a fantastic addition. And lastly, we will be going with the shurikens. Again, we will not be taking cooldown. Damage on the cleave, not that important. None of these are shurikens or an upgrade I want. So there we go. There's our final one. Fantastic. And now starting with the tornado is actually very important. Not important, but it's actually very helpful. For all the little mobs, this will get us a lot of experience. Much more so than we would get with other weapons, because other weapons have a chance, and realistically, they are not going to be coming out that fast. So these will get kills from far away. This will drop experience at a much greater rate. And it's actually going to be very useful in the long run. Now, obviously, these larger enemies, these Shelmet guys, of course, they are the worst. So not happy with those. But we're going to focus on tornadoes for a little bit to begin with. We are going to be going with damage on other things and size on other things. I do want to get the cleave very much up there in size. But for now, especially without going any form of cooldown, I do want to get just a solid base to kill the enemies and get the experience. That's what's nice about the tornadoes, is that you don't need much for them to be impactful like other weapons. There is no damage increase, they just sort of are what they are. And yes, obviously cooldown, very important for them. Knockback is nice. I don't generally care too much about the knockback myself. Let's get some damage on for when we get to the mini bosses. We will want things that can start to hit a little bit harder. But yes, this has the potential to go great distances with the tornado, and that... okay, got that experience. We do have a mini boss somewhere. There it is. Okay. And we do have the bees, wasps, what have you. So we are going to want that. I do want more damage, but let's get a little bit more area. The key is to get enough area that the tornadoes will hit anything in their path. And I'm sort of just following the tornadoes right now. I just want to get the experience that they are dropping. They are currently our experience generator. I mean, it makes sense. We chose it first. This boss will sort of slowly meander to us, so I'm not super worried. And I sort of just want to wait out this bee phase, because we're not going to kill things that fast. Ooh, there we go. We're not going to kill things that fast, and I do not... Oh, now we got them. You have to really position those shurikens just right. And we are getting the shuriken number. So that, I will say, that is one thing I have to admit is a little bit of a cheat to this. Shuriken number is very much essentially cooldown. But because they have cooldown as well as number, I'm counting them as different things. Going by the rules. Our tornadoes are overlapping to a small degree, which is all we need from them, which is perfect for us. I am thrilled by that. And let's start going with the size of the cleave. Basically, we want, when cleave goes off, to just be able to turn and kill any of these bees or something like that. We want it to be sort of our protection. The problem is, it's not a very fast protection, which is perfectly fine. That's not what we're going for. We are going for Just smooth runs. Nice and smooth. We'll get some more number, more protection, and let's see if we can get a cheap pet. Maybe this will be enough gold to increase. Yep, we did get to 330, which I know there's a pet there. So fantastic. And let us get more size. So did we get anything? Could have gotten mag if we got to 400. Perfectly fine there, though. No problems at all. And you can already see the size of the cleave is already being pretty impactful. The numbers of the tornadoes going very nice as well. And we can sort of just follow this. Do we want more size? More size? Not really not necessary. Knockback power. I mean, I did just do a video on how the knockback of the cleave on Conrad is very good. And knockback is strong, but especially without the cooldown, I really don't know if... I mean, maybe the knockback would be more impactful at that point in time. I don't really know. But, oh, we want to hit them. Oh, we didn't. Unfortunate. I was hoping to hit them with the tornado itself, but it did not work out. It happens. I went with Vivian, by the way, because of the extra experience. I was a little worried to a degree that without any form of cooldown reduction, kills would get harder and harder and harder to do, especially for the larger enemies. And, you know, you want that experience. Plus, I do love the range. The range is amazing. We are going to set up our ability to kill bosses, which is fantastic. You know, we want to get our crit up. We want to get everything else up. And as we can already see, that the cleave is getting to the point where it is able to handle things, and that's what we want to see. We want to see the tornadoes go through these groups of enemies, because every single one is experience, period. So we have cooldown, size, again, we're at the proper size, so let's just get our dot up a little bit more. Look at that experience flooding in. That is perfect. Number, again, you do not need number past a certain point. We definitely don't really need it any longer. But just one more can. All right, come on. Go to the left. I'll take it for half of them. I'll take it for... Look at that experience sitting down there. That is what you want to see. I do love the guaranteed drops. The 25% really is enough, especially with all of the bonuses through the web. But, I mean, guaranteed is still just that little bit better, you know, because I don't know the exact percentages that you'll have with the 25% bonus on top of the, two 10% from the web. I believe it is two 10%. But you can see already the size of our cleave getting up there. It's able to really hammer out these things. So, honestly, cooldown? I mean, don't get me wrong. I was about to say cooldown is overrated, and it's not. Cooldown is amazing. Cooldown is incredible. It's, again, the single best stat for pretty much every weapon. Not every single one, but pretty much every single weapon. But, you know, little doing pretty fine without it. That is to say, you know, what will happen coming up? There is still a lot of level left. I do want to see where things go. I mean, we are going to get surrounded. The surrounds are very scary, although I think with this weapon set, the surround isn't going to be scary in the slightest. I mean, we have... when you get surrounded on this map, you are surrounded by weaker enemies. You know, the fire enemies that we will see. We will see, you know, the vines, which aren't necessarily weaker, so to speak, but they're also not that strong, you know. The hinterlands probably would be a bit more difficult, given the fact that we would be surrounded by the shield enemies and things like that, but at the same time, it's not that impactful either, because, you know, we would have the tornado to push them away. They are susceptible to knockback. Not the rock guys, though. Their high health and knockback resistance would potentially be problematic. But as you can see, I mean, this is looking pretty good. More damage, more crit, more size. Yeah. I am also trying to take the size because the cleave will be changing. It's going to be reduced in size so much. And again, I'm very much looking forward to that change. I think it is necessary. So good on the devs for making that happen. Making each weapon hopefully turn into more of a specialized resource where you can combine specialities to create really fun builds versus, the one to rule them all, as Cleave currently is. When you max out Cleave, it is essentially the one to rule them all. I mean, it has almost the fastest attack speed. Its crit damage is fantastic, which it was supposed to be 100%. The range is absurd. So yes, I am just glad that is getting the old nerf right there. Not necessary to do any more than that. We're still going to keep going with damage on the shurikens. Again, I think we're in a pretty solid state right now. I'm taking a few hits here and there, and that's because, as you can see with these faster enemies, we don't necessarily have pure coverage. Cleave is able to take them out when they're far away, but they do close the gap very quickly. The Tornado is doing well. Beacon, definitely fun, but we're going to go with Rupert. Get some money. Who doesn't like more money? I know I am a fan. I'm also a fan of the fact that money is going to, quote unquote, very big quotes, lose a lot of its value. And that also increases its value in an odd way. So when I say loses a lot of its value, I just mean the ability to respec, at least I was told at one point in time, as things were subject to change. It has been a little while since I've heard anything about it, but it will be shifting down to 100 gold period per respec. Now, 100 gold period per respec is, to me, amazing. It is incredible. I think that is the best possible thing. It just allows you to really pick and choose, but at the same time, especially early on, you are limited a little bit. You can't just reroll forever. At this point, I'd have 7 rerolls. In some runs, this would be 1 reroll. I haven't used my rerolls yet, but you know what I'm saying. It could get up to 500 gold, which is an absurd amount of money in this game. You rarely get to 500 gold and reroll multiple times. So you sort of are at the whim. Now, you could also make the argument, well, if you're going to the point where you're making rerolls essentially not free, but fairly free, why not just make them free? Why not just say when it comes up you can pick from anything? And I think that's that isn't a fair thing to comparison. Yeah, words are good. But so I personally don't think that's necessarily a fair comparison because, yes, you want to have the freedom to sort of pick and choose, but you don't want to have if you can pick every single thing, once you have a single build, you will do that 100% of the time. Having that resource, especially early on, that will be limited. I mean, when you start a game with max gold, with your 450 gold, you get 4 rerolls, which is a good amount of rerolls, no doubt. Oh, look at this. Oh my god, the surrounds, not even a problem. Not even a problem. So what do we want? Let's get some more size. Boom. Look at that. So look at this. Down below and to the southeast over here, this is the direction we want to look at. Look at all of that. All of the experience. Just boom. There we have it. That's what I want to see. We have survived the set of surrounds that, not that I was worried about. Definitely wasn't. But in other runs, that surround is very deadly depending on what you pick. Cleave and Tornado are fantastic against them. Cleave itself, even without cooldown, once you get one big cleave off, it's over. You have done it. You succeeded fantastically. Let's get this shop down here. I've been wanting to get there, but, we got bosses, we got surrounds, all sorts of things happened. We'll finally get our mag slime. What do we want here? Let's make everything just a little bit bigger. Why not? I love it. And as you can see, I mean, we're just chilling. I mean, this is, kind of how it goes once you fill out the web. I was kind of thinking this might be a challenge type run, and it would probably be with certain weapons. If I were to turn this into a challenge run, I would probably take some of the longer weapons that have a cooldown. So I would go with, what do I go with? I go with Mines, because that's around a 4-second or so cooldown. Grand Hex is a very long cooldown. For the clears, probably Spears, if I was to choose one of the starter weapons as a cooldown. Obviously, I probably shouldn't even have taken Vines here, because that doesn't even have a cooldown. I didn't even think. I was just like, oh, Vines, they're good protection. We're not going to have cooldown. I did want some protection in that regard. So if I were to do this again as more of a challenge, I would probably go with those weapons there. So Grand Hex, Spears, and Mines. I think that would make this incredibly more difficult. That being said, the goal is never to have to do this again, at least for the time being. Because the patch should be coming out. A dev on the Discord today said they were starting a new game in the patched version, and in that new game, he was looking to see how fast things move and things like that, and was testing it over the weekend. So the tests are commencing, which is fantastic news. So with the test commencing, that just means it's only a matter of time. I hope that I can start getting to some fresher content with this. There is only so much you can do in the current build. Some things also to look forward to, not in this patch, but in future patches. They are looking to add quests to the game. With that, I don't know what type of quests that would be, whether those are character-driven quests, whether those are challenges on maps, or, maybe rotating daily challenges or something, hey, it's Monday, try and do sand dunes on Maxine using mines, maybe that's a quest. I don't know. So I don't know what they are, but, that doesn't mean I'm not excited for them. What do we want? Ooh, bigger is gooder. Who doesn't like bigger things? Oh, there's the Moon Mummy. Oh, the Moon Mummy, you are such a jerk. We got it. Again, we're in a good state, and, we do need a boss weapon with a no cooldown challenge. So needing a boss weapon with a no cooldown challenge, that does mean we want one that can kill a boss. And that is why the Shadow Shurikens. And again, they are very powerful. They do not need a cooldown to be effective. A beautiful thing coming up, though. A beautiful, beautiful, beautiful thing that I'm very much looking forward to is just the fact that the cage will not shrink. The cage not shrinking effectively turns the last boss into a true gauntlet. And with the last boss being a true gauntlet, that means you can start to take underpowered builds to the last boss. So you can say, you know what, I want to bring mines with no damage increases. I want to bring vines with no dot damage increases. I want to bring tornadoes, because they don't even get damage increases. And I want to bring Grand Hex, because it's random. And you know what? I just want to see if I can survive that boss cage until those slowly get it down. Something along those lines. I think that is a huge, huge, huge fun element. There have been a lot of my builds that I was trying to do for, what's the weakest build and things like that. And the problem is, a lot of times, you still need some form of boss killer. Boss killer minimum, to me, is cleave, in essence, or dots. Dots as well. I love the dots in this game. I do think they can get very, very powerful. I do think they have the problem with the overlapping. So I hope that is, quote-unquote taken care of. But, that being said, that doesn't make them any less potent. The Vine Dot is actually very, very strong. The Mine Dot is very high damaging, but it does not tick nearly as well, which is a decent balance, although I kind of wish that... I don't know, I like the faster ones. But, slower and harder makes perfect sense. And then obviously the orbital fire dot, which is the weakest dot in the game, the only dot in the game that cannot be improved via talents. The only way to improve its damage, I should say, by talents or level ups or whatever you want to officially call these. So it gets to 3 damage via the web, and then that's it. The damage does not increase unless you get one specific pet, and that specific pet is very variable depending on the dot, because it is just a flat damage increase. It's 3 damage, 6 damage, or it is 10 damage. 3, 6, 10, which is actually a very nice arrangement. It goes up 3 damage, it goes up 3 damage, boom, it goes up 4 damage. It gives you that little bit of, that last level is just a little bit more powerful. I do like that. It's worth more to invest more. So I do really like that fact as well. But yeah, I mean, what's weird when you think about it is it has an inverse effect on the damage of the dots in the game. The high damage dot, the mines, it is the highest damage dot in the game, is actually least impacted by Wuya, or Hoodoo. Wuya. Oof. Hoodoo. Why is that? Because it's slow. So if I'm adding 10 damage every second, well, okay, that's 10 DPS. Now, if I'm on vines, that's ticking every, 0.2 seconds, or something along those lines. Well, now I'm adding 50 damage, so much more. And then you go to Orbital Fire. And Orbital Fire is dealing damage every 0.5 seconds. So you're adding 200 DPS to Orbital Fire. I mean, it's immense. It is immense how good that pet is on Orbital Fire. Does that mean that, that pet should change or anything like that? No, I think I think it's a great thing to have, Orbital Fire's dot be amazing, which I think it is. I don't know if that will be changing. I don't know what impacts will be had with the shift from 20 levels down to, or 40 max levels down to 25. But, I don't think there's a bad thing to say, hey, this weapon is good, very good at max level. But if you max out this pet, or even just get this pet, I mean, let's be real. Even just getting this pet is all you really need. If you just get this pet, then you have doubled the damage that this already good effect is doing. I am taking some hits that I really should not be. Let us hope we get some vines down. The vines are on the boss, which is not what you want to see. Ooh. Alright, let's see if we can get enough hits here. Oh, he pushed me. Oh, no! He just pushed. Oh, I got caught in the push. Oh, I was talking about pets too much, and I was trying to get the damage in. Oh! Oh, so that is actually a concern. Because of the cooldown, I wasn't really able to effectively kill the pets, and I just was getting a little like, well, this is just going to shrink and shrink and shrink. So yeah, that was just very poor at the end. Poor execution. Actually, fairly even levels across the board. Again, couldn't really do too much in terms of a lot of things. Our vines were pretty decent, but not enough. Yeah, that is a sad thing for me. I am gonna put it up because, win or lose, I'm just trying to show what different things are possible. Do I want to do this run again? I could. I don't really have a problem with it. Although, you don't feel that big and bad. It's sort of you're doing just fine. The end, had the shurikens. The end is very random because the shurikens target a random thing, and because of the cooldown, I mean, we'll admit, because of the lack of cooldown, every time he was stopped next to me, I was not targeting him at the time. And then I was like, okay, finally got him targeted, and then, when he charged, I was stuck on his body. It happens. So, hey, it's okay. One thing to note as well, we have 4 starting weapons. We will, the ice ring is considered a starting weapon. You will get that for free, just so you are aware. So there will be no investment to unlock it. I don't know what its upgrades will cost. I do know that you will not need nearly that much resources in order to unlock everything once everything is out. Again, when the patch does hit, I will be doing a new full web video going over every single point on the map, including the new points. I'm doing this because not only are they adding things, but they said they were also changing a lot of the nodes of the web. So it may be a review for some of them, like this gold may not change whatsoever, but say this goes from 1 damage to 2 damage because they have reduced the number of damage levels. You know, the dot damage may change. Who knows? Who knows? I don't. So I do want to say thank you very much. I'm very sorry for the end. That was silly. I will be better next time, I promise. So thank you very much. I hope you have a wonderful day. Please toss a like, comment, subscribe. If you have any comments about the patch, anything like that, I'm very happy to talk about it. I would love to. So thank you very much. Have a wonderful day, and happy hunting.